Hey, freedom lovers, it's William Moore. You are watching Beyond the Ties That Bind. Thanks for joining me. I hope that everyone has had as good of a day as you can possibly have, putting up with the tyranny and oppression we now find at our front door. So, the federal government is purchasing riot gear and increasing security funding. They're citing the coronavirus pandemic for the reason why. Now, we have seen rapid militarization of police forces from coast to coast. You have municipalities, you have counties, you have statewide law enforcement agencies that are being militarized at a rapid pace. This has been going on for years. They know that something's coming, so just recently here, within the last week, they're increasing their funding for security. They're increasing their funding and purchasing riot gear. Why? Because we're going to have hyperinflation. We're going to have a point to where people cannot put food on their tables. And then people are going to take to the streets because they're not able to feed their families, and they're going to start rioting, especially when they find out that the federal government is responsible for ordering ranchers to euthanize animals, for telling farmers to destroy product, for telling farmers to dump milk, going around to dairies telling them to dump milk while there's a limit of 2 on purchases of milk at the store. Recently, down in Texas, you had a protest taking place, and a sheriff's department pulled into the protest in an armored vehicle. They're getting ready for something. They're gearing up. You've got all types of deployment going on. Trump has mobilized the military for a rapid vaccination response at the end of the year. You have the National Guard being deployed, and they're being used to test people. They are beta testing and getting ready, learning how to test people at elderly care centers all across the nation. Now you have the National Guard being deployed to be contact tracers. So I'm going to touch on this topic even more and show you a few videos, but I want to go back a few years and look at this video real quick. And then after this video, like I said, I'll show you the articles concerning what's going on right now, and it is not pretty.
The Trump administration may be preparing to lift a ban, giving back local police the ability to obtain surplus military equipment. According to documents obtained by USA Today, the new plan would roll back an executive order from the Obama administration, which banned police from repurposing armored vehicles, large caliber guns, and other heavy equipment originally used by the military. The documents detailing the restored plan reportedly read, assets that would otherwise be scrapped can be repurposed to help state, local, and tribal law enforcement better protect public safety and reduce crime. Back in 2014, the racially charged violence in Ferguson, Missouri between protesters and heavily armed police caused President Obama to enact the ban. Obama citing his concern over those powerful weapons furthering the rift between police and communities for looking less protective and more of an occupying force. Since the program's creation in 1997, over $5 billion in gear has been sent to local police. In the documents, the Trump administration calls the weapons entirely defensive in nature. Jeff Sessions is scheduled to visit the Fraternal Order of Police, where he may bring up the matter.
Okay, I'm sorry about that pause there. Had a technical glitch. But anyway, we know that the Trump administration lifted a controversial ban on the transfer of some surplus military equipment to police departments whose battlefield-style response to rioting in a St. Louis suburb 3 years ago prompted a halt to the program. The new plan takes effect immediately and fully rolls back an Obama administration executive order that blocked armored vehicles, large caliber weapons, ammunition, and other heavy equipment from being repurposed from foreign battlefields to America's streets. Now, in the video, it stated that Trump said these weapons were being used for defensive purposes. Did anyone see the video from Texas, where they were having the protest and the sheriff's department rolled in the armored vehicle. Did that look defensive? That was not defensive at all. That was offensive. Very offensive. So, if we go to The Intercept, the federal government buys riot gear, increases security funding, citing the coronavirus pandemic. The federal government has ramped up security and police-related spending in response to the coronavirus pandemic, including issuing contracts for riot gear, disclosures show. So, they are issuing contracts for riot gear. The purchase orders include requests for disposable cuffs, gas masks, ballistic helmets, and riot gloves, along with law enforcement protective equipment for federal police assigned to protect Veterans Affairs facilities. The orders were expedited under a special authorization in response to the coronavirus outbreak. Okay, the Veterans Affairs Department, which manages nearly 1,500 healthcare facilities around the country, has also extended special contracts for coronavirus-related security services. Redcon Solutions Group, a private security company founded by Iraq war veterans, has won over $1.6 million in contracts to provide guards for coronavirus screening security guard services. So, this is testing, and it's going to roll out into vaccinations. Coronavirus screening security guard services. Similar contracts have gone out to private security firms to guard veterans facilities in San Francisco, Des Moines, and Fayetteville, among others. The increased security contracts appeared shortly after a recent Inspector General report noted an increase in absenteeism among VA employees and shortages among VA police. The IG report noted that there is additional strain caused by the need for additional police presence for coronavirus-related screenings of veterans at all VA health facilities and recommended the hiring of contract security services. So, this is what we have going on. We have them purchasing riot gear. They know something's coming. They have been militarizing the police for years now. And now they're ramping up their spending because they know that people are getting pissed off. They know that people are going to be even more pissed off once they find out that the federal government are the ones responsible for telling the farmers to euthanize the animals. That people are going to be even more pissed off when they find out that the federal government is ordering farmers to destroy produce. And then they're going to be even more pissed off when they find out that the federal government is ordering dairy farmers to dump milk when they're limiting purchases within stores and prices continue to go up. So, while the pandemic has coincided with a historic drop in violent crime across the country, analysts have expressed concern that the rapid spread of the virus will fuel confrontations. Well, of course it's going to fuel confrontations. It's already fueling confrontations. You have people being tackled for not wearing a mask. Small confrontations, and then you have confrontations where you have people protesting the lockdown orders. And as people grow to distrust the government more and more because they find out that this is nothing more than a large BS operation conducted by the federal government, there's going to be more and more people that get pissed off. Sure, there's going to be your sheep. Hopefully the sheep number is somewhere between maybe 50 to 70% of the population. We can deal with those cowards. Not a big deal. They're going to be hiding behind the government skirt anyway, and they're going to be locked up in their house. bunch of wussies. I see it all over my neighborhood. Anyway, so you have the, purchasing of all this riot gear. They're not purchasing to let it sit on the shelves, people. They know that they're going to have to use it. And, as like I said, as people wake up, right now I think it's probably between 5, 10, maybe 15% of the population waking up. But I think that's going to double. I think people are going to start to see through the BS and see that this is the largest BS operation the federal government has ever carried out. And once people catch on to that, the excrement is going to hit the rotating oscillator. So you have federal government buying riot gear amid the coronavirus. Right here it says the federal government has been making expedited orders for riot gear. Expedited orders. Gas masks and other police-related equipment in response to the coronavirus pandemic, according to multiple disclosures. So you have 2 purchase orders made by Department of Veterans Affairs, which we read about in the last article, which was in The Intercept. Request for gas masks, disposable cuffs, ballistic helmets. Okay, so these are emergency acquisitions which were made in late March and April. And they are a result of President Trump's national emergency declaration. The orders also note that each was made under a special authorization in response to the coronavirus outbreak. So they're going to have testing. We already see the National Guard being deployed in every state to be contact tracers. We see them going to senior homes and conducting testing. I believe they're being trained in the senior citizen homes to conduct the testing so that they can conduct it on a much larger scale here within, say, the next couple months. And then you have Trump mobilizing the military to carry out a expedited, speedy vaccination program at the end of the year. So we have all types of militarization of the police force, mobilization of the military, deployment of the National Guard for testing, to be contact tracers. Things are heating up. Things are going to get bad. I suggest lead and brass. You're going to need to protect yourself. There's a lot of bad things coming down the road. You ain't seen nothing yet. This thing is just starting to heat up. I mean, the water hasn't even started to boil. The coronavirus pandemic and everything that we've had over the course of the last 3 months is just the water being put in the pot. Now it's being put onto the stove and they're turning up the heat. This thing hasn't even started to boil, hadn't even started to break out yet. They are coming. It's a full frontal assault on freedom. They want to control you, control every aspect of your life. They want to tell you who you can socialize with. They want to tell you where you can go, who you're going to work for, possibly who you're going to marry. They want to dictate every aspect of your life. They want to take away every freedom that you have. We need to stand up and we need to say no. We outnumber them. We don't even have to use force. We can just tell them, get lost. People, this thing is heating up. I predict not only are we going to see an economic collapse, we are seeing the beginning of an economic collapse. You have JCPenney stating they're going to close 242 stores, Office Depot saying they're laying off 13,000 people. You've got a lot of this going on. Jobs are not going to return. I mean, they're going to try and have as many contact tracers as possible, but they're not going to make up for the millions of jobs that are lost. What are they going to do? Hire everybody, every other person in America to be a contact tracer? Everybody's going to be married to a contact tracer or have a contact tracer in their home? No, they're not going to be able to make up for the magnitude of job loss that we're going to see. And then we are going to see this economic collapse. We already see the Federal Reserve expanding its balance sheet by leaps and bounds. $125 billion of securities being purchased each and every day by the Federal Reserve. This is more than TARP. This is TARP on steroids. I mean, people were complaining about what Obama did back in 2008, 2009. What he did back in 2008, 2009 is nothing compared to what's going on today. And people are looking at the stock market. Oh, stock market's going back up. Trump's doing a great job with the economy in the midst of all this coronavirus stuff. No, the stock market is being inflated. Those are false numbers. It's because the Federal Reserve is purchasing securities at a rapid rate, more rapid than they've ever purchased securities before. People, it's time to get mad. It's time to do something. Everybody in Washington needs to go. It needs to be evacuated and never to become repopulated again with these psychopaths that want to control you, want to take away your freedoms. So anyway, I wasn't planning on doing another video tonight. I'm working on one tomorrow, for tomorrow, to show everybody what's going on with a certain number again, which I believe that they're using this number as a signal that they're going to start phase 2 soon, just as they use this number in the beginning. They're going to use it each time there's a new phase coming. So, freedom lovers, I love each and every one of you. And I want you to just get somewhere for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes and think about what's going to happen when they start to mandate testing and vaccinations, when they start to go house to house and looking for people who are hoarding food. What are you going to do at that moment? Get it set in your heart and in your mind now. Hopefully we can win this thing. And once again, to all you Constitution thumpers, the Constitution is not going to help you at all. I mean, the Constitution has either authorized the government we have had, or it has been powerless to prevent it. Either way, it is unfit to exist. Freedom does not need a piece of paper. Freedom resides in the heart. It's set in the mind, and it's carried out by the actions of those who love freedom. Until next time, this is William Moore for Beyond the Ties That Bind. Peace.